Hi, my name is Steven Mostovi. I was a big supporter of Vechain, but I lost a lot of money with them and I lost the trust to blockchain startups. 2 weeks ago, I received an email invitation from Vechain's so-called competitor in Shanghai. They want to show me their office, their products, their solution, and thousands of customers in China. So I've asked my colleague from Guangzhou to check the company, and I was surprised she wanted to buy something from their internet shop. So I decided to pay them a visit. At the end of this video, I will tell you what I think about Tael Pay project, and I would like you to leave your opinion in comments below.
So guys, this is TaelPay team. Guys, what's your name?
This is Alex.
This is Yes, we are the two co-founders.
Okay. Guys, you know my story of Vechain, and you know why I'm very negative to blockchain and supply chain and all that stuff. So, but I'm here and I want to understand how your system works with your customers and end users. What do you have here?
So here we've got some of the examples of products that are being sold through our safe channel. Mm-hmm. So generally we focus on few categories, and I think you can see all of them here. So this is some of the cosmetics, this is vitamins and supplements, and infant formula. So all of these products are protected from the country of origin with our technology and currently sold to our customers.
Well, I think it's important to say essentially that what we are, right? So we're creating a safe channel for consumer products. So what it means essentially is that we get these products in the country of origin, and we operate an e-commerce platform here in China, essentially allowing Chinese consumers to purchase these products, giving them peace of mind that these products are actually authentic and genuine.
What is this product and what services do you provide for this company? You want to start?
I think just to be clear, we don't really provide so much a service to a company as a service to the final consumers.
So your customers are end users?
We are B2C
or?
business, not B2B
Okay.
business.
Okay.
So this is a very important difference that I just want to make straight away. The problem that we're solving is the problem of access to authentic products for our consumers, for the thousands of our consumers who are buying from our platform, and with a peace of mind that what they're buying is actually authentic and is actually safe. That's where we're really providing
Really?
service.
You're located in China.
Yes.
And you know, China is quite famous for fake products. So you want to protect foreign companies in China? Or do you want to protect the rest of the world from fake products in China?
Neither of the two. We want to give Chinese consumers access to genuine products, to genuine foreign products, because these are products which are usually the most expensive and the ones that counterfeiters like to counterfeit essentially because they're high margin products. We started with milk formula because, as you probably know, in China it has been a pretty big problem because of the...
No, I don't. What was the problem?
Oh, you don't know. Okay, so Chinese consumers like milk formula, and they consume it much more per capita than anywhere else in the world. It's the biggest market by far. I think it's worth like 10 times more than the US.
So US was about 4 billion USD, now probably about 4.5, whereas China is over 20. And the US is the second biggest market in the world, whereas China is by far it's 5 times the second biggest.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I do have a kid. Yeah.
So is this product coming from your own personal experience or from the big numbers and stuff?
So I knew about the in 2008, I was living in China, and this is where there was a huge scandal in China with contaminated milk formula, with a lot of babies getting sick And I knew about it, but it did not affect me directly. I just knew about it because it was all over, all over TV, all over newspapers, and that. And a few years after that, I was working in consulting, and it was a baby food company, and they were looking to expand into infant formula. And
What was the company name?
I mean, it's consulting, so I cannot reveal I cannot reveal the client, but it's one of the biggest.
Well, he was working for Bain and Company, so and these consulting companies tend to work with the biggest companies in the industries because this consulting is expensive.
So yeah, so it was a pretty big baby food manufacturer, but they didn't have infant formula line at the moment, and they were looking actually to expand into infant formula. And I was in charge of of the project, essentially looking whether or not they should expand into infant formula. And reading up on this, I came up across a lot of data on China. So it started as a big numbers, statistics. Here is our marketing plus my personal experience of living in China.
You have only people in China or overseas, or what's your team?
So there's about 20 people in China. We've got one person in Australia, one person
Where in
Japan.
Australia?
He lives in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
But he tends to travel to Sydney quite a lot. He is the business development director, so he's responsible for the B2B relationships in Australia and New Zealand, and also for all the sourcing these products and these products. And this is coming from Australia as well.
So
this is coming from Japan.
business development team.
He is our business development team in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same in Japan. There's another person in Japan
So
who lives
Australia,
in
New
Tokyo.
Zealand, Japan. Okay. Where else?
And we also have a development team in Europe, in Belarus. Now we actually have an additional agency working with us in Beijing.
I'm from Ukraine, and at the moment, 7 to 8% of eggs sold in Hong Kong, imported to Hong Kong, are from Ukraine.
Eggs, chicken eggs. Okay.
Chicken eggs. And second biggest Ukraine manufacturer of eggs, they are willing to go to consumer market. They want to put their eggs to supermarkets and stuff. And is your solution a good way to show the end users that that product is from Ukraine, from environmentally safe place, and is it a good way to have the direct connection from the manufacturer to end users?
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that right now, because we had this debate in the group. There are some people asking, like, why don't we show that, why do we prove that the product comes from the farm, from this particular farm, all the way to the dinner table. And my reply to this was, at this stage, at this time and stage, this is a nice to have feature rather than a genuine problem to solve for us right now. Because in order for this to work, a consumer needs to care enough to scan it and essentially just to get all this information. And we will probably need to study the way that the consumers behave right now in the supermarkets. And I'm sure that some of the eggs right now, they actually do something like that, like they do it with the Japanese eggs. So there's a famous, I think, brand called like Isa eggs. But I'm not sure that this applies to like how many Chinese consumers this problem would be important to, because the Isa eggs, if you go to like City Super, very top end supermarket here, this is where you find this kind of eggs. So if you go to Walmart, don't think that people who buy eggs at Walmart will care enough to scan it and learn where these products come from. So for us right now, I think we figure out the model and what we're doing. We're scaling what we have at this point. So with us, the consumer places an order as he does on any e-commerce platform, in China. He can pay with WeChat. He uses his loyalty points that we give to the consumer for scanning or for purchasing products. The products arrive. He takes it. He takes his phone. He authenticates. He gets the points, and these points he can immediately use on his next purchase.
Okay. So does it mean that Hong Kong companies who are involved in e-commerce with China are your perfect customers?
Our perfect customers are mothers and third and fourth tier cities. Right, so these are our consumers. I think what you're talking about here are more like suppliers, like where would we get the products from?
Okay. Guys, who is your customer in China?
Right now, more than 80, closer to 90% of our consumers are women, and mostly from the third and fourth tier cities.
What does it mean?
So generally in China, people talk about the cities in tiers. There's the tier 1 cities, which is the 4 biggest cities, or sometimes so it's Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen. Then there's the second tier cities, which is mostly the provincial capitals. And then there's the third and fourth tier cities, which are smaller cities, so these are much less known cities like Jiaxing, Wuxi.
For example, Dalian city, is it second or third?
Dalian, I think, would be second.
Second.
Provincial
So
capital.
cities with population less than 3 million.
Well, you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's actually more, but generally it would be under 3 million in population. Overall, this is about 500 million consumers.
So we're talking about market with half a billion of people. Why those consumers should choose you?
Because we solve a very important problem for them. So if you live in Hong Kong, when you go and you want to buy some vitamins, you just go to a shop and buy it, right? And then you consume it. If it's a good brand, you trust the brand, you don't worry that it's going to hurt you. If you live in a big city in China, Beijing, Shanghai, you normally have a few options, but it's already not as good as in Hong Kong, right? So if you live in Beijing or Shanghai, you could go to an expensive supermarket where you reasonably trust that it's not going to be fake. Or you probably have some of the friends traveling who can go to Australia, Japan, etc. You just ask them, hey, can you bring some stuff for me? That's what people do a lot. Now, as you move to smaller cities, it becomes harder and harder. If you live in a smaller city, you're less likely to have a lot of friends who travel like regularly.
Australia.
Exactly. You don't have a city supermarket that we've got here in Shanghai, where you can really trust that the supermarket and it's good. And when you go to smaller cities, it kind of gets worrying. There's a lot of what they call baby stores. So this is the stores where they sell all the baby-related stuff, from the wipes and the food and the toys, etc. You go in there, you look at that, you don't have the trust. Maybe it's real, but maybe it's fake, right? And if you're a mother and you have this little treasure, you worry.
How many products do you have at the moment?
Right now we have about 200 SKUs on the platform. Yeah, closer, slightly under 200.
200
but we
SKUs.
plan to increase it to 300 in August, and then it will just keep increasing.
Do you need more support from local guys in Europe or maybe America to talk to manufacturers directly, to tell them what that technology is?
Yes, of course we do. We actually already have people with inbound interest coming from the US, from Europe, but we need a lot more of that. The interest normally comes from companies who are producing the products that we sell, so the food, vitamins, supplements, and they want to sell in China, which is frankly the biggest consumer market in the world.
Pretend that I'm the guy in Greece, and I'm young, I'm smart, because I understand how it works. What I can get from taking your technology and idea to manufacture, spending time with them, signing a contract with them, teaching them how to use your stickers, what I can get from you or from the manufacturer?
Oh, this is very simple. So we're a retail channel, and retail channel, the way it works is that you add a margin along the way, right? So when we source a product, when they buy into the consumer, there's always some sort of margin added for every single link in the.
Who pays that? You or the manufacturer?
The consumer pays.
Consumer pays.
It's always the consumer.
It's always the consumer who pays, because it's the consumer who shops. So he pays the ultimate retail price that already includes everything: the shipping cost, the margin that we take as a company, the money that we pay to the logistics company, the taxes, and all of this essentially ends up in the retail price.
But who will pay money to my personal bank account for doing the job for you?
Depends on how you want to do it, right? If you want to be more entrepreneurial about this and you can buy those products and sell and have the margin.
Representative in Greece.
If you want to be representative, that sounds much more like a job, right? So
Yeah,
it's a salary,
exactly.
a consulting, or whichever way. It's different ways that we can work.
But you don't know me personally, you don't know that I'm smart enough to do your job. So let's say if I'm agreed to have like some payments for contacting one supplier or whatever, do you have that experience? Do you have that business model or not?
We have this experience right now, for example, in Japan, so we have a person working there, but we also have an agency that has an access to quite a lot of manufacturers, as I mentioned.
How much do you pay to them per month?
We don't pay them per month, we pay them per success case.
For a year?
It is, again, so there is a success fee based on the manufacturer agreeing to sell products through our channel. And so if this is successful, there is a fee that we, like an intro fee that we pay to this company. If it's not successful, we don't pay anything.
Guys, I'm in Greece. I enjoy the life and I want to understand if I will do my best, I can get $1 million per year or not. You're smart, but I need money, I need cash. So I want to understand like what money are we talking about? Is it like, is it possible to earn 10,000 euro per month, or it's impossible?
10,000 euros per month is possible.
So,
a million per year? Probably not.
Guys, if you live in Greece, if you know good manufacturers of good food or anything which women in China will be interested in, contact these guys right away. Guys, we're talking about business. And if we are talking about the business, we're talking about the investment. Who invested money in your project and what was those stages?
We had a few stages. First stage, we actually invested our own money, the money that we've earned in consulting. So that was about 200K that we invested ourselves. Later on, we had some, it was not an investment, it was more of a grant from the Chinese government.
From Chinese government?
From the Chinese government. So they saw the anti-counterfeiting technology, they saw that we've already been presenting it to the Prime Minister of China back a few years ago.
Wait a sec, you met the Prime Minister of China?
Yes, Vechain, the current Prime Minister. We've shown our technology to him and to the Prime Minister of Russia, Mr. Medvedev, in Moscow at Innovation Forum. There were a few startups with promising technologies that were chosen, and we were one out of four that were showing the stuff. Yeah, so that was the second round of investment, so to say.
How much was that?
That one was 1 million RMB. And later on we did an ICO in 2017, raising 11.5 million.
RMB?
USD.
Guys, I will put contacts, direct contacts in the description of the video, both for Alex and for Yaroslav. So feel free to contact them directly and to ask questions. Maybe if you're in Shanghai, eventually visit their office, they are great. Guys, what can you tell about the technology side of your project? What is your blockchain? Tell us more.
Well, the blockchain that we're using is Hyperledger. So that's something that was developed originally by IBM, but then it was open source. And now we've seen actually most of the big companies, whenever they turn to blockchain, most often it's Hyperledger. And we kind of followed the suit here. I think in terms of the technology, what's really interesting is what we really bring to the blockchain as something new. And here the anti-counterfeiting use case really comes well with us, because there's actually a very common misconception that blockchain by itself can protect products from fakes. It's not true. By itself, blockchain is still digital. Whatever goes into blockchain stays there. However immutable it is, if it's wrong data, it's wrong data that will be immutable in this case. So what's very important for the anti-counterfeiting use case is to have the very secure link between blockchain as something digital and the physical object that's being protected. And that's essentially our labels and our counterfeiting technology around it that is serving that link. So this is something that we've seen a lot of companies attempting to attack the use case for blockchain around the fakes. But I haven't seen anyone with such a secure technology yet. Now, speaking about the points,
Well, let's put it this way. Yeah, we actually have two blockchain implementations. So one, what Alex just mentioned, the Hyperledger, it is used for track and trace, right? So for product protection and traceability. Another implementation of blockchain is actually for the loyalty system. So this is where our consumers get the points or tokens that they can later leverage to buy more products on our channel. And so this essentially this is a loyalty program which is based on blockchain, and it gives essentially receives a lot of benefits because it is based on blockchain. So to name the few, it is first, it has an external value. So for example, we don't have to keep it on our balance sheet, all the value of the outstanding tokens out there, and then spend a lot of time calculating how much do we owe the customers and that. And obviously one of the key advantages here is that we can easily integrate our loyalty system with any other blockchain-based loyalty system, because the transfer of value here becomes extremely simple and extremely transparent. So for example, if we want to enable our customers go and spend their tokens anywhere, it becomes, we don't need to go and negotiate with 100 different users of the system to agree on the internal rate of calculation, but we can actually just use the market price that we have and essentially integrate the payment, making it easy for our customers.
that's why it's called Tael Pay, because it will grow into a payment system later on.
So and this in turn brings us to a different question: how do we make it work in China? Because obviously crypto payments and cryptocurrency itself is still pretty sensitive and controversial in some countries topic. So what we've done is we created what is called a mirror system, and this mirror system consists of two parts. First, that there is the circulation of Tael token on the market. There's something that you can go buy and sell freely on the exchanges. On the other hand, we have what is called the local Shizifan, or our loyalty point. So loyalty point, although it's blockchain based, but it has some restrictions on its use. So for example, when the consumers earn the points, they cannot go and sell them on the exchange. They have to spend it on our channel. They cannot transfer points to each other. This is essentially to prevent all the worries about money laundering. There is an important tweak here. So why is it a mirror system? It is a mirror system because the circulating supply of all these tokens is always limited to 100 million units. So whenever we issue a token in China, we have to buy one from the market, essentially put one tile and lock it in an escrow.
To add one within China, we take one outside of China.
Thanks for watching. It was Steven Mostovi and Alex and Yaroslav from Tael Pay project. Check the link below to know more about the project. Thanks for watching and bye.
So here's what I think about Tael Pay as a project. Number one, it works. Great job, guys. For me, it looks like a healthy business model. Number two, they are confident with what they do and they have very promising future. Number three, it looks like a scalable model. Number four, I like their product selection. Number five, I like their market in China. Number six, I always try to put myself to all businesses as a partner. So with Tael Pay project, I didn't see the simple offer for partners, for future partners. Number eight, internet presence. That's how Vechain became so big. So guys from TaelPay should learn from Vechain. Number nine, don't go to other markets. Stay focused on China and to your target group. And the last, please share your vision, your opinion, your advice, or maybe ask a question in comments below. Thanks for watching and bye.